generally Series A, pre-Series A, and lagbhag Series B tak, growth team exists.
Yeah.
There are very, very rarest to rarest companies in India where there is a growth team after Series C because you don't need.
Yeah.
The growth people are needed to fast scale, blitz scale your startup.
Yeah.
And hence, the next round of funding is dependent on this person.
Why did you join the growth marketing space, and what's your journey been like? How did you get into this whole thing?
I didn't join growth marketing. I think as far as I can remember, the word there is a word called performance marketing now, which is under digital marketing.
Yeah.
Now, when I was starting, I discovered digital marketing in 2015. I was doing my MBA at that time, and I heard this competition called as GOMC.
Okay.
It's Google's Global Online Marketing Challenge. It's Google's, and the game was simple. That you have to pick 5 students in a university. You have to pick a local seller who has no idea about online. Like let's say a seller who is selling pan masala or aam or a gift shop.
Yeah.
You have to create the website.
Yeah.
And Google will give you 25,000 or 30,000. You have to use that money to increase the sale.
Shit, wow.
And it's a national level competition, one person from one college. And if you win that, you get a job at Google. That was the whole thing.
Okay.
Now the fight was not for the money or something, but to get a job at Google. Because it's glamorous, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that is the first time I discovered Google search ads. That was my first.
Yeah, that strategy
exposure.
Itself is a great strategy, right? Like to get more
exactly
people online.
Correct. To create more evangelists
exactly.
who can tell you, okay, Google is better and everything. I think that's a great sales strategy.
I know.
From that point of view.
Wow. Like get students itself and
exactly.
that too, and MBA grads.
True. Because these people will be decision makers at some point of time.
Exactly.
And it's much better. But that was my first like very first introduction. I'm a self-taught person, had taken no course in digital marketing.
Shit, okay.
I remember there was a company or an institute called as Digital Vidya.
Okay.
Which was huge. Like that time, if you search best digital marketing institute in India, it will come on the first. And it was charging somewhere around 60,000, 70,000.
Bro, I did a course in digital marketing.
From
DigiPerform.
Okay.
There's this place, it's in Indranagar as well.
Okay.
And so my thing was like, I was from engineering.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to do engineering. So I took up a course on digital marketing and and then DigiPerform happened but completely different from yours.
And then you, like what they taught?
Sports
everything.
Leader.
They taught everything,
they taught
right?
everything.
Affiliates
I was like,
and everything,
right? That's when Brew Your Market came into being also. Like, so this Brew Your Market concept, my instructor, he was like, come up with like a website. Isme ye sab karo, like social media, everything. That's the best way to practice. I'm like, okay, what do we call it? brewyourmarket.com.
Are you a coffee fan?
Yeah, I am.
Knew it. High five.
So, amazing. Yeah, so that's how it came into being, and then one thing led to another. Yeah.
Got it. I had no exposure on this online stuff and everything because of the simple fact I had no money.
Yeah.
It's simple. I cannot think of going beyond 10 lakhs. 10,000.
Yeah.
Because I was already on loan, the MBA loan, which I'm still paying.
Bro, MBA
loans are your life ends. There is MBA loan and then you take a car. There is car loan and then it keeps on adding up. House loan, marriage loan, it will keep on adding up. A marriage loan is a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm saving for that.
That's in the middle.
That's in the middle, exactly. So I was introduced to that, but my first job was becoming a generalist. I was doing everything. It was a startup I joined. We 4 people founded the startup.
Okay.
And I was doing creatives, business development, sales.
What is it called?
It was called Together.
Okay.
DOGETH. The concept was doing things together. We built a social networking app which allowed people to meet online on basis of geolocation.
Oh, wow.
So a musician can meet another musician in next 4 kilometers radius.
Okay, so it's like Tinder but for work.
Tinder but for work, which has genres of things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And that's all.
Yeah. Wow.
And we used to call it micro events. There is nothing that you can do. You can't date. Or you can't create a post or a feed or something.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you can create a micro event. So a guitarist can just put that, hey, I want to jam.
Yeah.
And all of the drummers can see the feed. Just the drummers, just the musicians, no one else. And then they will send an accept or a reject request.
That sounds so cool. Why do you stop that?
In India, this is 2015 and people had no idea about social network like this is a decentralized social network.
Yeah.
And the first adaptation we are getting is from US and UK, not from India.
Yeah.
Randomly, organically. I was doing marketing. I think if I do the same thing now, I can do a much better job.
Yeah.
But what happened is eventually we had no idea how to monetize it. We had no idea. There were let's say 60,000 users, and we had no idea how to monetize it.
Yeah.
And that time in India, ad tech was not that big. Like right now, every social networking app has an ad tech. Your Hotstar has an ad tech and everything.
Yeah.
So we were not able to figure out. Hence, we pivoted. We pivoted to an interesting concept that is called in Airbnb experiences.
Okay.
Which is basically that if you're an expat, you are going to Delhi.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can do is what? Go to movies, theaters, or something. People want more.
Yeah.
So if you just open Airbnb experiences, it will show you a bike rider who will just show you around Delhi.
Yeah.
A chai wala who will just make you taste multiple chais. You should check it out. It's called Airbnb experiences.
Yeah.
They had limited inventory. Like per city, they were having 4 to 5 events that time, and just 4 cities. We thought, okay, let's pick this up.
Yeah.
We understand micro events pretty well.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's just scale it. And we did that. We did in 8 cities in India. Then we scaled to Hong Kong in a partnership with someone. That was pretty well. Because now this is a business model event.
Yeah.
We were doing events like ghost walking in Mumbai.
Shit.
So there was a vendor there. We onboarded a crazy vendor who had chartered planes and helicopters.
Bro, I would pay for such kind of experience, experience right even now.
Correct.
I mean, like these days I'd be like, okay, Bangalore, what do I do? I mean, like just go and drink or go and eat something.
Or go to a Book My Show and Insider and
exactly, PayTm Insider and like find something. I'm like, what do I do? That's why. And these kind of experiences, which are not just a general theater and all these offbeat experiences are.
Right. True.
Yeah.
That happened, and that's how Insider happened.
Okay.
Because then I left it, and then the only company closest to this thing who was doing this thing was Insider. I joined Insider. I was doing music festivals and movies marketing for 6 months.
Okay.
And then PayTm Insider happened. So basically, PayTm had already had stakes in Insider.
Yeah.
But the rebranding happened, and every marketer was doing part work, like part category marketing in PayTm and part category marketing in Insider.
Okay, let's say part.
So that's how my first growth happened. So I was handling the app growth of Insider.
Okay.
That was my first stint. So did a lot of growth hacks with Rohan Joshi, the ex-AIB person. And then Pocket Aces happened.
Yeah.
I was in entertainment for 4 years.
Shit,
And then decided, okay, let me move out of entertainment slightly.
Yeah.
And then
why do you choose to move out of entertainment?
So what has happened is, if you ask any marketer, they will tell you that what I have done is hard. The reason is this, that I have done performance marketing for 1 year at Insider. Social media at 1 year at Stretch, not exactly 1 year, 1.5, 1.8 at Pocket Aces. A social media marketing person never gets a job in performance.
Yeah.
A performance marketing person never gets a job in social media. So
I mean, it's relatively easier, kind of.
Yeah. But still, no one accepts you.
Nobody goes for that because, I mean, you can make so much more money in performance marketing.
Exactly. Also, the knack of understanding is different. Performance marketers very rarely have creative side.
Yeah, it's all about targets,
data,
goals, and everything.
Correct. I think I got that blend pretty well, which right now is my identity.
Okay.
So after 5 years of work, I understood, okay, theek hai. This is what my identity is.
Use both of these.
And then growth evolved, because growth is basically psychology, understanding of product, understanding of social media, understanding of data, a blend of everything. Plus, I have added advantage of being an entrepreneur in my first stint. So it fits pretty well. That's how I just thought, okay, let me do my first growth instant by going to a product company and then see what happens. That's how Betterhalf happened.
Okay, wow. And that's how Betterhalf happened. And how long has it been with you?
1.2, 1.4 kind of.
How's the journey been like?
It's great. It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because creating social networks is complicated, because what you have to do is, okay, let me put it in very simple context. Let's say if I tell you that you have to sell tickets for a dance party in a pub. Simple. Ki okay, theek hai. मैं लगाऊंगा stag entry this much. I will put couple entry this much. I know stag entry is easy to sell because if I increase the female numbers, males will come. That is an easy thing. But the main game comes from there. that you need to maintain a sex ratio inside a pub for the whole event to happen. You can't just have all the guys because the girls will feel uncomfortable. You can't have all the girls because guys will any which ways pay more. Guys pay more actually. That concept exists in dating and matrimony apps, that you need to have a certain sex ratio in a certain area for the matchmaking to happen. Now imagine if there are 5 men from a certain area and there is no woman, the guys won't pay.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then they will leave.
Yeah.
And in the same case, like let's say there are more women but less good responding non-creepy guys, then the women will leave.
Okay.
The hardest job is to just find out.
I'm just
how
thinking
to
about.
maintain
I was
that
going to
part.
ask you like how, but then I'm like, that's your job. That's exactly.
No, it
Right.
genuinely took me at least 6 to 8 months of hit and trial.
Sure. Okay.
To find out how will the marketing work in this model of workplace, because your female marketing, so here it's gender specific marketing. Your female marketing works differently, your male marketing works differently.
Yeah.
The way you acquire both of them is different, the cost is different, budgets are different, creatives are different, communications are different.
Yeah.
So for female you have to tell, okay, I'm the safest app. For guys you have to tell, okay, we have more number of women. So, for women you have to say we have less number of men,
Creepy man. Yeah.
less number of men, but extremely high quality, high educated people.
Yeah.
So the dynamics work differently there. So to find out and get this psychology also took enough time around that.
I can imagine. I mean, like, especially like even if it's any industry, like getting
Right.
into a new job itself would be like a pain. Like, I mean, like getting into it and then
absolutely.
understanding the whole thing. Uske baad, like, I mean, this thing, what do you call that? Going ahead and like building a strategy, and especially when you're a growth head and you're responsible for the app's growth.
Correct.
It must be like
Growth heads in
insane.
India, I'll tell you what exactly happened. And this is where the reality comes that no one ever understands, and they fantasize this growth hacker and growth head culture. So what happens here is generally Series A, pre-Series A, and lagbhag Series B tak, growth team exists.
Yeah.
There are very, very rarest to rarest companies in India where there is a growth team after Series C, because you don't need.
Yeah.
The growth people are needed to fast scale, blitz scale your startup.
Yeah.
And hence, the next round of funding is dependent on this person. So the pressure lies a lot on you, like a lot on you.
Yeah.
And there is a bigger skill which is not talked about, which is called stakeholder management
Okay.
in growth. It's not just opening your laptop and just doing your work.
Yeah.
You have to get
Work with
those
different
budgets
things.
approved
Yeah.
to the founders. Now imagine you're working with a non-marketing founder. Just making him understand why I need budget to do this is a big pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So a lot, like that is an acquired skill. Like you just keep on learning with time.
Exactly, and that's not something that, I mean, very few people know that, have knack of that.
True.
Right?
I think it will come with age. It will come with age.
Yeah, and also, I mean, not just with age, but with experience.
Absolutely.
Right? Like,
absolutely.
I mean, even if a kid, like, I mean, even if there's a 20-year-old who's been
True.
freelancing all his life and everything and has like a whole lot of, or like even starting a startup from when he was, say, I don't know, I'm just throwing out numbers, 16.
Right.
Then he's had 4 years of experience.
Right,
So, I
right.
mean, like, he would be on par with a 29-year-old with like, who started like working in his corporate life and everything.
Right. Just the dynamics become very different there. Like, if you ask a lot of founders, they will tell you this particular thing, that I have very bad experience with getting freelancers, and the reason is basically this. Why the founders say that? Freelancers understand how to work in solo mode with a lot of people.
Yeah.
The moment you put them into teams, that's a very different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
And managerial skill is very different than solo workers. Freelancers are specialists.
Yeah.
Managers are generalists. You
Yeah.
need to know if there are 8 people, you are responsible for the 8 people.
How you can make them work.
How you can
together.
make them work. You have a big troublesome person. How do you keep him in the team, because he's important,
Yeah.
and you can't let him go.
And also, if there's someone who's not performing well, how do you like
How do you
motivate
mentor
them?
them?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.